So I got a pretty interesting amplifier in for repair. This is a Gibson Atlas 40 watt head. Pretty neat. Let's take a look around the back of it. Here's the back side of the amp. The output tubes are behind this heat shield. I don't believe it's ever been worked on. You can see this cool tag. Take a look at the phone number on that. And let's pull that heat shield and take a look at the output tubes. A set of some gorgeous RCA 606s. Preamp tubes are hidden back there. Let's get this chassis out and see what it needs. I've got the chassis loose. Let's get her out. A little bit of rust, but what would you expect for something this old, huh? The fun part is going to be underneath. I pulled out those 606s because I sure don't want to damage them. Well, here's the bottom side. Looks 100% original. Got those old brown filter caps. They gotta go. It's obvious that somebody did put a new power cord on. But man, she looks good. It's got some spray orange drops. It's not going to be too much recapping besides the filter caps. So I'm going to start by changing the electrolytics, the main filter cap, these two negative bias caps, and this one appears to be the cap for the preamp section. And get those replaced before I power and test it. I changed out all the electrolytic filter caps. Take a look at this one. It's got a big old dent in it. This was replaced in the past. That is not an original. I installed F&T 500 volt caps. This is for the high voltage side, and this is for the preamp side. One note, guys, if you install new caps, make sure to use the wire runner to the terminal board grounds. Do not connect those to chassis or you're going to have a ground loop. Here's the initial test of the Gibson. Got the sacrificial tubes installed. She's in standby. I'm going to turn it on. You hear that? That does not sound good, does it? Now watch when I adjust the volume. Swoops down and gets worse. Swoops down and worse. You would think possibly that would be a bad volume control. But I've seen the same issue on some of these Gibsons in the past, and it's usually a bad connection somewhere. And when I have buzz or hum issues, first thing I look at is the grounding. They use these brown wires and floated the grounds on these terminal boards. Even though it may measure to chassis, it's still above chassis potential. So you gotta look at all those connections and see if you can spot a loose one, and that's usually what I find. But I spotted something that's probably the cause. So if you look right here on volume control, you see that wire? It's loose. That little guy is hooked over, but it was never soldered. That's probably it. So I pulled that wire out so you can see it, and I'm going to apply some rosin direct to that wire so we get a good connection. Here is the magic rosin. Be on the lookout. Alright, I cleaned up that connection, retest the volume. No hum, no buzz. That did it. So that resolved the hum issue. Next thing I'm going to do is get rid of this gigantic washing machine power cord, put on something that's a little bit better fit for the Gibson. The new 3-prong grounded cord is in place. I installed a terminal board on the chassis for easy connection. I'm going to give this thing another test and then we'll put in the RCA tubes. Okay, I got my looper hooked up. So that channel's good. And this is the second input he said was not operating. Looking good. I'm going to get those RCAs reinstalled. And there's the RCAs. Gibson Atlas lives again.